All right, let's bring you this right now. A director of the Zanzou lounge says the assault and torture incident at his establishment is regrettable. Neo Moela, who is a minority shareholder, says he took the necessary steps immediately after hearing about the incident. He says he is willing to face any consequences should law enforcement agencies decide to prosecute him. Moela, today addressing the media through his lawyer, Zola Majavu, Ziniko Mhlaba, attended that particular briefing, and he joins us in studio this afternoon. Ziniko, good afternoon to you. Let's talk about what came out of that briefing. For you, what was most prominent? What is it that was said that stood out? I'll ask you the other question about why it is that the director would come to a media briefing but not utter a single word.
I mean, for me, Xoli, the first thing that really shocked us as members of the media in that press room was the fact that he said, through his lawyers, he said that he was not aware of those incidents. And you wonder then, his role and responsibilities within that establishment. Because we're talking about two incidents here. One took place in 2022 in April, and the other one took place in 2023. So if you look at that timeline, and then you wonder, how can you not know about this incident, especially if you're talking about such a serious incident? And also, what was really worrying, or what was not answered by his lawyer, was that if he was in charge as far back as 2019 as a shareholder and the director, now these videos are surfacing in 2025. Really, can you really believe that you were not aware of that? But also, he made mention of the fact that on that particular Monday, when we broke the stories Newzroom Afrika, he took immediate action in terms of trying to call his colleague just to verify, to gather information whether really did this happen, under what circumstances, yeah, and who was behind this, and were there any reports or any cases reported to the police. And of course, that answer never came through. So let's take a listen to him, to his lawyer, in terms of explaining that question, in terms of what exactly did he do upon hearing and upon seeing on TV those videos, which really showed those young patrons being very, very abused to an extent that some of them were forced to perform very shocking and worrying incidents upon themselves, but also being assaulted, being recorded. So let's take a listen to Mr. Majavu explaining that particular matter as far as what did he do upon hearing about that incident.
As soon as the incident was brought to his attention, a week or so ago, when these videos were released to the media, he immediately took steps to ascertain the facts. And on the basis of the facts that he had ascertained, he was then able to voluntarily engage with the police, who had been tasked with the responsibility to investigate this matter. He did so even before enlisting my services as a legal representative. There has been at least 2 engagements with the police. He was at all material times accompanied by his father and close family members. He further engaged with the officials of the liquor board and cooperated to the extent possible. That cooperation continues, and it is not going to stop or change just because they have enlisted my services.
Zola Majavu there representing his client, who is this particular director. And then a question came, Ziniko, which I thought was quite apt. What was the point of this whole exercise? You come to a briefing with your lawyer, but you do not utter a single word. Even the apology is expressed through your lawyer. What was the point?
That was the question, Xoli, and that was our biggest frustration as members of the media in that particular press briefing, because if you come out and say, actually, if you release a statement, you invite us as members of the media, you are saying that you're going to have a very transparent conversation. You'll be sharing with us your side of the story. Then you can't even answer a basic question in terms of what really inspired you to come out in the first place? Why are you using a lawyer? Why are you addressing us through a lawyer? And you can't even explain that yourself. It is the very same lawyer that has to explain to us the questions that we are really worried, but that we wanted to ask you. But what was also telling, it was this gentleman revealing to us through his lawyer that he has been engaging with law enforcement agencies in terms of the information that police are seeking for. And we were also told that he has met with authorities twice, and that was before he enlisted the services of Mr. Majavu. But also there was a question that came through from our side as members of in terms of you are engaging with the police, but at the very same time, you can't explain to us how you have been engaging with your fellow colleagues or as directors of these establishments. So what is it that we're looking at here, and what can be the long-term game from your side? So let's again listen to Mr. Majavu explaining that, especially whether at some point we might see Mr. Moela being a witness or to testify against his fellow colleagues, because he was not there, and Mr. Majavu did not want to entertain any question about other directors except his client.
At the end of the police investigation, he becomes a person of interest. He will cooperate just like any other responsible corporate and natural citizen. He does not locate himself above the law. He does not locate himself above the law. Sadly, the incident, when it first broke, an impression was created that it might have been a new incident. We have now come to learn from the fact establishment exercise that he undertook that this incident is approximately just shy over 3 years. He had no knowledge of it.
Zola Majavu there, once again, speaking on behalf of his client, Neo Moela. That's the director, at least one of the directors at the Zanzou nightclub. Thank you very much, Ziniko Mhlaba.